We are your home theater and AV questions answered. This is AVRant. Want your home theater or AV question answered by Tom and Rob? Send it to question@avrant.com. Welcome to AVRant. I'm Tom Andry, and I'm here with
Rob H.
Will. This is Will from Liz and Will, though my old podcast partner, pre-Rob. Actually, with Rob, too. Will, and there will be some pictures here as well. We have lots of pictures this year, have been reconfiguring the living room to make it safer for their soon-to-be walking daughter, Cora. The room is approximately 13 by 23 with a 6-foot wide opening to the dining room and French doors in what is currently the rear right corner. There's a 100-inch wide window on the back wall. The result of this is one result of this moving is moving the TV, a 75-pound, 55-inch Panasonic plasma, from a stand to a wall mount. Is the Sable Series mount from Monoprice a good choice? Well, if you look it up, it says it can hold something like up to 139 pounds. I think it only tilts like 10 degrees down.
132. Yeah, 132 pounds it can hold. And up to a 70-inch television.
Yeah, 70. So, yes, this is fine. There's nothing wrong with this mount. Yeah. So
no, I think this is fine. I mean, people are always a little bit wary because they see the price, and it's so much less than a lot of other TV mounts coming from Monoprice. But no, I mean, Monoprice doesn't lie. When it comes to the rating. You can give them more
money. They may send it back, but you can just. I had this conversation with a friend. They're like, I don't think I would pay that for. That's too cheap for that. I'm like, tell them. Just tell them I'm not giving you $10. I will give you 25. I will give you 25 for this thing you were to sell me for 10, and they will certainly, after a brief period of confusion and maybe some protests, they will say, all right, then fine, give me the 25, I suppose. So if you don't really want to pay,
do be very careful to make sure you follow the instructions and install it properly, because you are talking about a heavy weight. This obviously has to be screwed into studs. You can't just hold it up on the drywall. Will knows that, but just want to cover all bases in case somebody out there thinks you can. So yeah, no. As long as you follow the instructions, mount it securely, this no problem. I see no issues with this.
So they'd like to move the surrounds from stands to wall mounts, but in the current positions, the surrounds are in front of windows. To mount them on the wall, they either have to spread 4 feet wider to mount to the back wall, or 8 to 10 feet wider to mount on the side walls. So will this have a negative impact on the sound? Do we see any better options? Okay, negative impact. Really, I'm going to open these. So I have looked at these pictures, but I'm going to look at them again while we're all kind of sitting here looking at them. And it kind of seems like he's using a fisheye lens. Am I
little
wrong?
Bit, yeah, little bit.
It's kind of freaking me out, to be honest with you. Excuse me. Let's see here. It's not opening. It's taking a second. I don't know why. All right. So the theater is kind of like weirdly off to the side now, if I'm understanding
a little bit. I mean, it's a little offset, to the right of this room. So the room is wider than it is long from front to back.
That's right. So he's got the speakers kind of all around the TV, which is fine, right? But the ones in the back are on stands, and they're sitting in front of this massive bank of windows. Yeah. Now there is some sort of upright between the windows. Between that main big window there, the speakers are actually wider than that right now.
Yeah.
So why are we not mounting them there? Because that actually is better than where they currently have them.
Well, placed. Like instead of flush mounting them, you just use a regular speaker wall mount that sticks out a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mount them there. That's what I think. If you're going to mount them,
that's not a bad idea.
Or ceilings are an option too. You can mount them to ceilings, which is not great.
Or I would, my next choice would be on the back wall, just wider than the windows. That's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I think between the windows is the way to go.
It doesn't really look like he has a good space to use the side walls, particularly on the right side, because you've got the French door over there. So if you use the side wall, they'd be pushed way forward, which wouldn't be great for your surround speakers. So I'd say keep them on the back wall. I really like Tom's idea of using those pillars that are in between the windows with just a regular wall mount that would let the speakers stick out a little bit from there.
That's not my last idea, by the way, but go on.
I'd put them on the outside of the windows. Yeah, that's my idea anyway.
So will it have a negative impact on sound? Well, Honestly, I think if you put them where I just told you to put them, they'll actually sound better than they sound where they are right now. But that's just me. All right, that's what I think.
Or you could just not worry about having your surround speakers on stands. Because
that is probably the best option. I have how many times have I said it? I said it to them when I saw them. I'm like, people worry about stands so much. Get heavier stands, and then bolt your speaker to it. Then don't worry about it. If the baby knocks it over, it's just a speaker and it's just a baby. You can make another one.
Oh, jeez.
How many? I've got 3. You want one? You have one of mine. I'll ship one to you right now. No, I'm joking. Cora's adorable. But seriously, just don't worry about the stands. That's what I would do. I had mine. Anyways, one of their movie stuff, anyways, why not try for better subwoofer placement? After doing the subwoofer crawl, they found that a spot next to the French doors that sounds 100 times better. They should still get a second sub, though, right? The answer to the second one is yes, and the answer to the first one is also yes. If you found a better spot, it's going to be a better spot no matter what. So just put it there if you can, if Liz will let you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking, and now you do have this opening, so you're not dealing with a rectangular room.
Yes.
Right. But I mean, still, there's no way to make a single sub have even response across all of those seats, no matter what the shape of your room might be. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking here, and it looks like when you get a second sub, maybe you can find a spot towards that rear left corner, because that looks to be filled with sort of like a it's not quite a bookcase, but like a shelving unit back there. It's next to the fireplace. It would sort of be hidden in that rear left corner and then towards the front right corner, which is basically where you had it originally anyway. So that could totally work out as far as placement for dual subs. But yeah, the subwoofer crawl, fantastic thing to do when you only have one sub, because it reveals what will be the best position for that one sub in your room. So worked out already for Will.
All right, so let's just talk about the fact that I don't like the way this room is set up. All right, so I kind of think that what if we angled everything? What if the TV and everything went in the corner back there and got rid of that weird sofa thing that clearly nobody ever sits on? Because I mean, Liza right now is yelling at yelling at her iPod or iPhone or whatever. I sit that thing, read books all the time. Hey. Don't talk back to me, woman. You're not even on this podcast right now. So, angle it so that it kind of faces into the room, and then you angle the couch a little bit and move it towards that whole area. And then the place on the other side near the fireplace, instead of having chairs in front of your fireplace facing into the room, right, you make that like a sitting area. And you could take your weird, stupid couch thing that's in that corner, move it over to this other corner. Move it over to this other corner. Liz's gonna hate me to this. I'm sorry, Liz. Move it to the other corner and make like the that whole thing be like a little sitting area, visiting area. So you have your like home theater space, and then you have the reading book space over there, and you could do that too. And then you have to worry about where you're gonna place all the speakers again. But they're not gonna do this clearly. But I'm going to assume they rearrange this room into what it is now for some reason. But yeah, okay, I will leave it there. Rob's like, hey, yeah, Tom's going to dig his own grave on this one. All right. Want your question answered? Send it to question@avrant.com. This is AVRant.
Now go out and listen to something.